Hello everybody and welcome back to English with Dr. Papori Barooah, and it's a very important topic that I'm taking up today. It's a topic of summary writing. Whenever we talk about summary writing, the first thing that comes to our head, make something short. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are many layers to it. You really need to know a lot of things before actually coming to know how to actually write a proper summary. So let's start today and I'll give you the basics of how you can write a wonderfully short summary. Question first. What is it that we do in a summary? What actually is a summary? It's something like we are given a paragraph in the examination and you have to write a summary on it. So you're completely confused, like, alright, how do we go about it? Alright, so when we talk about a summary, it is something which is told in short. Or in fact, we can say that it is something which tells the person who doesn't want to read the entire thing, the idea that is present in that particular paragraph or story or anything. Anything can be summarized, whether it is an article, a short story, a fairy tale, or a paragraph like we have in our academic sessions or in the examinations, right? So whenever we talk about any paragraph, say, alright, we'll talk about a paragraph today and then try to analyze it and make a summary or get a summary of it, right? So whenever we have a paragraph, say, and we read it, okay, so when we read something, it is not just reading the words, reading the sentences, right? We need to read beyond the sentences. So what is it that we try to arrive at when you read something? The idea, the main ideas that a particular paragraph conveys. Or the story, the message the story gives you, or the idea behind the entire article. All these are actually seen into when we read. It's like reading is actually for pleasure also, but then also we always want to know what is the idea being conveyed. So whenever we talk about reading a particular paragraph and the ideas conveyed, and we talk about summary writing, we need to know that it is talking about the main ideas that are there in the paragraph or story or article or whatever. So when it is a summary, we read the whole thing and try to take out the main idea, segregate the main idea from the whole, and that is the whole idea behind writing a summary. Okay, now if you can write a good summary, what does it tell? It tells that you are somebody who have understood the entire passage or anything. Whatever is summarized, you've understood the whole thing. That's why you can give you a perfect summary. Further off, we need to remember that we cannot leave away any detail. Everything needs to be included. It has to be something like this. Only the main ideas should be there, and it has to be, that's the whole thing. You have to include everything, the ideas, and you have to be concise and brief. How do you go about that? So whenever we talk about summary writing, what we have students facing is this. We are completely confused. We have students looking up to me, alright, okay, what do we write now? And it's like, okay, we have to write a summary. But it's not that bad. Summary writing can actually be fun if you know the tricks that lead you to the perfect summary. Say for instance, what will happen is that we will whenever we read something, there might be dates, there might be statistics, and there also might be some numbers. So remember, when you're writing a summary, leave out all these specific details until and unless they're very, very necessary for the understanding of the whole idea. Whenever we talk about specific details, we need to be remembering the whole thing that if it is not necessary for the perfect understanding of that particular part, you may leave out that. The date, the number, and the statistics. So we need to take a few things into consideration, like say for instance, we need to be concise. I've already said that. Secondly, how can we be concise? We need to leave out all the frills that are there, all the descriptions that are there. So whenever we are reading a paragraph or a story, for instance, we talk about, say, Little Red Riding Hood, the story there, we'll understand, or we are given by the author beautiful descriptions descriptions of her, the hood she's wearing, or the beautiful color of her dress, the atmosphere, the butterflies flying. All these can be left off when we are writing a summary. We do not use all those descriptions at all in a summary. We come to the perfect idea only. The descriptions are minus. You are not there, they are not there in the summary. Therefore, we can leave out the descriptions. And thirdly, we have to maintain a good paragraph structure when we are writing a summary. That's very important. So what I mean to say is that paragraph structure, introduction, body and conclusion. This part should be there. It shouldn't be jumping from one sentence to the other without any link. When the person is reading it, should feel like reading on and on. It shouldn't feel, all right, okay, what's happening? This particular sentence is not tallying with the earlier sentence. Somehow this sentence shouldn't be here. That idea shouldn't be there. So it should be like a perfect paragraph. The introduction, the body and the conclusion. Okay, now actually how should we go about writing a perfect summary? I think you can be as confused as this boy here. So please remember, we need to write a topic sentence. Normally the first sentence is a topic sentence, means that sentence will give you the main idea that particular paragraph contains. There has to be supportive have to be supporting sentences and a concluding sentence as well. Then further, we always need to follow a chronology. That is, the first, the second and the third. We cannot change the order at all. That is, when we are reading the paragraph, the original paragraph, there will be a sequence, okay? So one particular idea leads to the second and the third. So you cannot bring the third paragraph in first and take the first, second, and you cannot just make it topsy-turvy. You need to follow the chronology. Further, we cannot just copy and paste the direct sentences from the original passage. If you're writing a paragraph, which is a gist of the paragraph or the summary of the paragraph, you have to write your own sentences. And you cannot use direct speech as well. So we cannot use any quotes there. The quotation marks, these marks, they have to be removed and you have to say in the reported speech. Further, remember, as I said, we always use our own words when we write a summary for the perfect summary. But there's a difference. You have to use your own words, right? But you cannot use your own ideas. Whatever is told should be actually there in the paragraph. Therefore, it is not a subjective account. It is a very, very objective account that you're putting down as a summary. Furthermore, what I'm trying to say is the topic sentence, the main idea there. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll give you a paragraph and we'll read the paragraph and we'll try to do a summary. It's best to do it to understand it. All right, let's concentrate on the paragraph. So this particular paragraph is about my being in the college for the first time, the first day in my college. And I'll just talk about the topic sentence, the main idea. It is given in the first sentence. My first day of college was pathetic. The very first introductory sentence already introduces the idea that what particular ideas will be conveyed in the passage that follows. Let's give a reading to this beautiful passage that describes how my first day in college was spent. My first day of college was pathetic. First, I addressed a senior by name and offered her food from my plate. Then I kept on crying and crying as I was missing my home a lot, and this happened to be my first time in a hostel. So many miles away from my home and all surrounded by girls with similar sad faces. I was wondering how I would survive 2 whole years in the college and the hostel without a single face that looked familiar. And then when I approached the hostel gates to go to the college, a senior emptied almost a whole bottle of Cleocarpin into my head, where a tiny rubber band was trying to hold my tinier hair into a supposed bun at the back of my head, while all the while threatening to break into absolute freedom. Further, to make things worse, another senior had a plate with a red vermilion mixed into a sticky, thick mixture, I think with the same cure carpine oil. And as I approached her, she used her thumb to draw a huge vermilion mark that stretched from the web between my two eyes right to the end of my forehead. I must have been a sight to witness. And with all these ceremonials that I had to undergo before I set foot towards the college, which is just half a mile away, I entered the class. Along with an army of similar crusaders, I realized that we had already missed the first 20 minutes of a 1 hour class. And to add to my dismay, it was a maths class where the teacher taught everything that I could not follow. Then came the physics class where the teacher tried to explain in which direction to hold the umbrella, in what degree if it rains. These and similar other heart-rending incidents made my first day in college, and when I lay down on my bed in the hostel, I said to myself, I need to make my next day a better one. Now let us do one thing. Try and ask questions and try to make a summary of the paragraph. So which are the questions you need to ask? First question, what or whom the paragraph is about? The second question, what is the paragraph talking about, this person or the thing? So answer to the first question, it is about the author herself. The answer to the second question, what is the paragraph talking about? In this it's talking about the author's first day of college, her yearning for home, the ragging she had to undergo, the classes she had to miss, and the lessons she did not understand in a foreign atmosphere. She ends the day hoping to make the things worthier. So what have I done here? I have taken two questions, what or whom, and the second question is, first is what or whom, second is what is the paragraph about. Alright, what is the paragraph talking about, the person. So that way we have tried to answer the two questions that will give you the summary. Now we need to put these two together to make a perfect summary. So let's do it now. So we need to, however, remember while doing it that no word should be used from the original paragraph. Secondly, it should not sound repetitive. And thirdly, it should be short and concise. Now let us put these two together and get our summary. So when we put it together, it is like this that we get, and now let us put it together, try to join in here. So here, this is how the summary will look. The author finds herself in tear-jerking or pitiful or distasteful situation. So I am not using the same words that I had used in the original paragraph and trying to use different words. Your vocabulary should be good to give you the perfect summary. Alright, so this you can use either of these words, any one of them, a situation in her first day in college. She portrays her yearning for home, the ragging she had to undergo, the classes she had to miss, and the lessons she did not understand in a foreign atmosphere. She ends the day hoping to make the next day worthier. So what have I done here? Please remember you use ing ending words to make it shorter. She portrays her yearning for home. She wanted to go back home. So these words, things like that, can be made shorter by using the word ing ending words. Any ing ending words will make your summary shorter. Alright, so next thing, I have used the atmosphere, foreign atmosphere here. Earlier, what did we have? Alright, in the original paragraph, let's talk about the original paragraph. In the original paragraph, we had so many things that it was talking about the strange atmosphere here. So I just used one word there. What is that word? A foreign atmosphere, an atmosphere one cannot relate to. So this is the perfect summary of that particular paragraph. So what is it that we did here? So I just try to put it together as the main or the end, the end summary that I really wanted to put up, and I need to put up also a title. So first day in college, a very relevant title there, and this is how it looks here. The author finds herself in tear-jerking, pitiful or distasteful situation in her first day in college. She portrays her yearning for home, the ragging she had to undergo, the classes she had to miss, and the lessons she did not understand in a foreign atmosphere. She ends the day hoping to make the day were there or the next day were there. So this is the perfect summary. Okay, so we just cut it down, all those descriptions of the vermilion and everything, the carpine, all these are left out. So finally, we need to remember a few points when we give a summary. So I'll just pinpoint or bullet the words, or in fact the ideas that you really need to take into care if you're writing a summary. Like, you need to give a shorter version of the original form. You should not go away from the original. Then you should keep to the basic point. You cannot change any idea. You cannot change the order of ideas. You read fast so that you get the general idea first. This is known as skimming. And then you again read fast, but to get the, reading between the lines, that is the scanning. Further, you underline the main ideas. You do not use exact words from the paragraph, and you use words like and, but, and for to make it shorter, and you begin with words with ending in ing. We write a sentence that brings everything together, which is the topic sentence, and normally it comes in the beginning of the paragraph, and most importantly, you use a title. So this is what, when we summarize, we get to it. But when we talk about summarizing a story, which I'll take up in my next session, it is when every story is read for pleasure. We need to remember that. But a summary is for straight reading, and we cut down on the dialogues and the descriptions, and we use reporting verbs. That's all I had to tell about the summary writing. When we talk about an article or a paragraph, in fact this was today only for the paragraph. If you're interested, do let me know in the comment section. I'll of course take up another session when we'll talk about what to do and how to write a summary when it is talking about writing a summary of a story. I hope you had a wonderful time, and I hope you look for more sessions with me in the days to come. Thank you so much.